What we're going to do is we are going to go over what the challenge is and everything, do a little Q&A at the end, all right? I will say if you have any questions that are explicitly answered in the video, I will ask you to watch the video. If you have any like personal questions that are more specific to you, go ahead and ask me shoot me an email or ask me right after instead of in front of everybody, okay? What I'm going to do first is have Dr. Brian Campbell. He's going to explain what you guys were doing with all that fun stuff over there and what your number is and kind of what he does. So he's going to do that first.
I'm Dr. Brian Campbell. My office is over at the Apex location for you guys that are over here. So a little bit about what you guys just did with the FMS. So the FMS was designed to be a pre-participation screen. Basically what it means is it's a 0 to 21 score. What it's looking at is, are you at a higher risk of injury or not? So I know I gave mostly everyone scores, and if we didn't, we'll get your scores to you. So most everyone can improve on those. What we're looking at is the mobility and stability aspects of how you move, especially within the CrossFit realm. The screen really takes a good look at that. The reason we use that is because it's validated. We can look at pre and post, and we can see if there is improvement with mobility or if you have some weakness or stability issues. That will come out on the screen when we post test you as well. So a little bit about what I do. So I'm a physical therapist, and I also do movement performance. So what we do is if you have an injury or if you have some nagging pain or anything going on, I do the PT aspects. If you're doing that pain but you have difficulties getting into certain movements or certain patterns, front squat or any type of the Olympic lifting, we go through a full assessment and we can do we give you a program. So I call it a movement performance program, where we can take a look and see where your deficits are and really get you on a good program to improve those. So what I'm doing for you guys exclusively is we're going to do the initial assessment, which usually is 125. But if you schedule with me before next Friday, when I get to marry that beautiful woman back there, then I will take $25 off. So I have a couple slots on Tuesday. Otherwise, you're going to have to catch me when I get back in October. And then what I'm also doing is I'm doing 30-minute, an hour-long sessions. So what I do is dry needling. If anyone hasn't heard of that, it's a kind of like an acupuncture needle, but it's very effective in getting some soft tissue restrictions to release very quickly. So it helps to accelerate a lot of these mobility problems that people might have. It's not that bad. I know it's needles, but I was definitely afraid of needles before I started doing it, and it's not as bad as a surgical needle.
It's nothing. I'm definitely afraid.
It's not a surgical needle. It's a rounded tip. It's not a sharp tip, so it's not meant to cut tissue. It's just kind of pushing on it. So it's like a very effective lacrosse ball mobilization. The other thing we do is we do some instrument-assisted soft tissue. So the scraping, if you've heard of that, we also do that. So those sessions will also be available for you guys as ways to kind of get in there in between sessions or once we get you on a program. And if you're feeling that you're not, making as much gains, then we can help to accelerate that process. So with the programming, I just want to give you guys a couple of tips. One law that I'm giving people, or guideline, is the 3x10. So what that means is you're spending 10 minutes 3 times a day doing mobilizations. So the people that are training, 3 days a week or 5 days a week or whatever, if you can get 10 minutes in before you do your training, so before the WOD, you can get 10 minutes in after the WOD, and then 10 minutes sometime at night, typically right before you go to bed. It's going to be the 3 most effective times that you should be doing any type of mobilization or corrective drills. You're already at the gym, you already have time to, usually everyone gets there early, so you can get in, do some more dynamic type activities before you start training, and then after you're done, that's when you do more of the static holds. I recommend that if it's a really tough workout, that you get on one of these bikes or rowers for 2 minutes, really kind of clear that lactic acid, then go into some of that static stretching. Your soreness the next couple of days will dramatically decrease if you do that, guaranteed. And then if you can get 10 minutes in, right before you go to bed, you're going to feel a hell of a lot better when you wake up the next morning, especially if you have tight areas. And with this 3x10 rule, each week you should only pick 1 or 2 joints or or movements that you're lacking. So if you can't get your arms overhead, that's what you should be focusing on, even if you have an ankle mobility deficit. You know, focus on one thing. It's just like a diet, one step at a time. You know, try to set one goal for that shoulder or for that shoulder mobility or that ankle mobility, and then kind of play around with it, you know, every couple weeks, and see how that goes. Any questions for me? Okay. I do have cards here, so I'll leave those over here if you do have questions or anything. And whoever hasn't done the FMS yet, I will be hanging around to finish those up today. So if you haven't done it yet, then come see me afterwards. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
Sweet, great. And then he'll put, Brian will put a link to like his Facebook, to his page and everything up on the Embark Lifestyle page too.
Yeah. So I will a couple times a week I will post some videos and I'll put links to my website. I have a whole exercise video library that includes corrective drills for my clients that everyone has access to. So if you just go to my video library, you can check out any of those. And then I'll start doing some more specific ones for the group and just putting them there. And whatever blog posts or whatever I do, I'll also include there so that you guys can take a look at that. Okay?
Sweet.
All right, thank you.
And then our friend John Jarman over here has a bunch of protein and stuff here, so he's just going to give you a little spiel what he's doing over here.
Yeah, just to kind of follow up with Brian and he's talking about your post-workout recovery. You know, we're trying to make sure we feel better and we're able to train 100% effort every day. So the most important part of your day nutrition-wise is that post-workout recovery. You should be doing some sort of protein after your workout. If you're not, you're only doing yourself harm more than anything. It puts your muscles immediately in recovery mode. Tons of everything here is challenge approved. NutriWay, the NutriForce products here, definitely a great value for your buy. The SFH and the About Time are a little more of the over the top towards your holistic type living, grass-fed, free-range whey products there, so they're very clean. NutriForce is a good clean product as well. So we've sourced these for you. They are available. You know, at pretty much market price right here through CrossFit Embark. You get it here, I just tack it on to your account, and you just walk off with it. It's pretty simple. I got samples and stuff as well, so after the presentation, you're welcome to come try some things out and ask any questions. All right.